saying there's like a difference that I felt from TI and
I
here.
strongly disagree. I thought they played late game lineups, but they were certainly aggressive. Like they did not. They would take tower fights that they didn't necessarily need to.
I'm sure they buy aggro, but
in the final, they took fights that they weren't favourites to win as well. When everyone else was like, "Whoa, what are you doing? That's super risky."
The difference is that often they had.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about OGs,
But that's what we were saying in this game, though. They had to draw. They were on a bit of a timer, but they were on a bit of a timer as well, right?
But they're ahead. And if from that position, did they need to? That's the question, Black Stars. We got some bans of picks, gentlemen.
We do.
Why are EHOME first banning the Prophet here? They're that scared of it? Do you think it would have made a big but would it have made a big difference in that last game?
Well, it's more that OG is still, for some unknown reason, one of the only teams playing Furion as a 5 pretty reliably.
Yeah.
And it's a really good player on it. No Tail. Like, I can't believe he got that hero at TI, let alone he could possibly get it now. Like, that hero is busted, and people should be picking it for their support players.
Yeah, and he's busted on it. So
yes.
You got a broken player using a broken hero.
You want to talk about, you had a tri-lane, right? The tiny Wisp Luna that you're like, this is unbeatable. My Furion Undying +1 is going to dumpster it.
Oh, of course.
Like, it's just such an insanely good laner, especially after the buff to just tower pushing with armor. There's just less armor on towers. Your aimbot's a Blightstone. He's got trees. Those trees are doing an extra 2 or 3 damage per hit to that tower post-patch.
To be fair, though, it takes a very good player and a very unique kind of player to play a position 5 Prophet. I think not everybody can do it. Because you need to be able to micro those trees well, to give your team like all this vision information, to pressure the right lanes at the right times and stuff.
Yeah, there's not many mechanically gifted 5s that take it on.
It takes a lot to play a really good Prophet, I think.
I would argue the reason it works for OG is because their captain isn't as relied upon to do all the primary shot calling. A player like Kuro or Puppy, I don't think, has the luxury of being a hero that has to focus on his own game so much. No Tail, you've got Seb playing these aura heroes from the offlane. I know for a fact he was their coach for 2 years. This guy's going to have an influence on the way the team
he's calling in game as well.
He's probably calling the most.
Yeah, in game he is.
Yeah, in game, yeah, for sure. Like, you're not just coach for 2 years and you don't call. There's no way.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
OG's turn to pick.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we should. We should do that. That's coming up. Just a little plug for that. Which is coming up next week. Which Ted is part of the the hosting, presenting with Casey as well.
Wow, self ads on stream.
Yep.
How low have you fallen?
Yeah, please send those reports to my Twitter at KeepingItKyle. I'll handle those complaints straight away.
Looking forward to them.
Yeah. And follow my Instagram. It's Kyle Friedman. Thanks. There's 3
Kyle Friedman, thanks.
Yeah. No.
Why do you use it?
Kyle,
at Kyle Friedman, thanks. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Why would you add the thanks on the end? That's bizarre.
It's polite.
Pretty
Kyle
busted.
Friedman, thanks on Instagram.
You on Instagram, Black?
I'm not.
I'm just at Paul Challoner. How easy is that? Easy, right?
I mean, I'm kind of there, but just to follow The Rock, because I'm a big Rock fan.
Really?
Yeah, I love Dwayne Johnson.
You're on Instagram to follow The Rock?
Yeah.
The Rock.
That's amazing.
The Rock and Avengers. That's the 2 things I'm doing on Instagram.
Are you 12?
Love it.
1200?
Ted, careful now, right? We're all men here.
Hey, no, I'm just saying.
We never get past the age of 12 mentally.
There's one thing everybody here can agree on. Dwayne Johnson is like the manliest man.
No.
The manliest man.
History or currently alive?
Wait, what?
Dude, he's so manly.
No.
What do you mean?
Man.
What is manly? That's such a weird word to use.
He's just like so huge and muscular and manly.
Okay.
I love that guy.
This is starting to get slightly erotic now.
Awesome, man.
Man, you should have seen Prime Arnold, man.
Yeah, Prime
You want to
Arnold.
talk about a story?
Oh,
Can we
yeah,
talk
Prime
about
Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger? That man came to America.
Look, Arnie Schwarzenegger is the first pick for OG.
There you go.
That's basically the Arnie Schwarzenegger of Dota 2.
No, he's
right
way
there.
smaller. Sven is way smaller.
I'm not going to get into
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But they have a giant sword.
I'm just saying. Never mind.
Great stroke.
Great stroke as well. No, I'm with you, Kyle. I'm with you. Yeah, Junior Arnold. When he first came, Predator, Rambo, those kind of films. Yeah. What a manly man.
He's a manly man.
There's no such thing. Look, to be fair though, just keep in mind, manliness and masculinity does not necessarily mean you gotta be super jacked and rugged.
No, Abe Lincoln was a manly man. Yeah, Abe Lincoln was a manly man.
Look, it's current year.
Just
lads,
keep
right?
that in mind.
Bear it in mind.
You know, let's ensure we give, just because you're an introvert, it doesn't mean that you can't be fun at parties.
All right. With
You go
that
to
being
an
said,
introvert party.
Tiny. How'd they get tiny again? God damn.
Yeah, ASD tiny.
Don't know where you're going with that, Kyle, but
I don't either. That's the problem. I'm hoping you just let it die.
All right, so we two talk about Dota. They'll talk about.
Well, no, we're with you. We're with you. Yeah.
Tell an issue.
So if
As was the Titan.
so, okay. So who's Tiny then in the row? Is he the Rock?
Radiant's
No.
team
Well, yeah,
But he's a rock.
But he's way too small too.
He's pre
But he's not as
WWE
big.
steroid rock.
I mean, maybe level 18 tiny.
What about,
Bro.
What about Act? He's pretty hench.
Yeah.
But they're also small.
Yeah,
Well, it's a video game,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
they're
but-
going to be fairly small.
Dude, Dwayne Johnson's like 2 meters plus, man.
Bro, all right. You, wanna talk, you should look at the photo of what was it? Like you should. Okay, you don't even know Wilt Chamberlain, man. Like that.
Wilt
You
Chamberlain?
want to talk about
Basketball?
yeah, he's got 7 inches on the rock. You want to talk about the true biggest man ever? You got to look at the photo of Andre the Giant
I saw that
with
guy.
Arnold, and I think might have been The Rock. It was Arnold and like somebody else that was huge.
He was next to
No,
the
it was.
Not this
as well.
I'm pretty sure The Rock was way too young.
No,
at
it
that
was
time.
the Rock. It wasn't. It was the wrestler
Hulk Hogan.
with the
Jake the
yes,
Snake
with the
Hulk.
tash.
Hulk Hogan, yeah.
Hulk Hogan. it
Yeah,
was Hulk
but
Hogan.
they look like little boys. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a photo of a beer in his fist. It fits. Okay, like he can put a beer here.
There was Andre the Giant on like a talk show. He's just so big, man.
Yeah.
He didn't fit in the
He
chest.
was the nicest guy.
He is super nice, yeah.
He had to drink. Ah, never mind.
OG.
He has the world record for most beer consumed in a 1 hour period.
I mean, I would not be surprised.
Jug. What the heck?
It's a jug.
It's the ET counter and tiny counter.
Yeah.
Of course. I was going to say how the heck are they
Also-
tiny and they take.
Grimstroke, Juggernaut.
Oh.
I said it. They're doing it. You get double Juggernauts, double jugs.
Double jugs.
To me and Ted, those are going to be huge
Sorry,
jugs.
yeah. To me and Ted, that double jugs means something completely different.
I
Trust
think
me.
he knows that.
Okay.
I hope.
I don't think he does.
You're right. Look at his innocent smile.
He doesn't now he does. Now he's got it.
What do you?
Yeah.
I swear, you give me like absolutely no credit,
No
Paul.
credit. Come on, Paul.
Unbelievable.
No one sets that up like that without knowing what they're doing.
OG's turn to pick.
Let's see what we got. Oracle.
Oh, good lord.
Oh.
A hero I still have never
Yes.
played.
Nah, I think you're barking up the right tree, Paul.
Yeah. This is a Huskar game.
It is like the hero. The Jug can't play into Huskar. It's miserable.
Razor can't either.
Yeah,
Here it comes.
Huskar.
Here it comes.
It's hype. I think
it
a CK could be sick here too, but nobody plays that hero.
No, sadly.
When was the last time they
I
got
think he
played?
has a place.
God.
Just no farming mechanic. Any hero with no farming mechanic, it feels like if you get outlaned and then you aren't strong enough to go fight, you're just screwed.
Yeah,
Like there's nothing you
his
can do.
GPM talent is too late.
20 minutes, yeah.
I think his GPM talent is like level 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's like level 15, it would be way
And
better.
I don't like it either, though. It's,
Nah, the other one's way better. Reality Rift. pierces
Reality
immunity.
Rift, like
Yeah,
extra
that's
7
too
minus
big. You
armor.
can't.
There's
Yeah.
so many more in the pool. It's like tier 4 right now. There's like there's another 18 heroes that you could pick before. Why would you pick it?
They pick Oracle Huskar, I'm going to be sick on the floor.
It's going to be Oracle
No,
Huskar.
like,
You're
I'll
going to
be-
be sick on the floor.
We
I'll
only
be sick on black.
Yeah. Okay.
we only saw it the one time, but I really think IOCK with a hardcore, like we call it a deucer, right? And you play for the Phantasm on allies. I only saw it once. LGD did it at some LAN. I honestly think that could just be
OG's turn to
It was
unbeatable when you hit
It
a
was the
certain point.
position 4 seeker,
Called
right?
it.
Yeah.
There you go. Who was it that ran Io and Bristle? It was just
There was
Secret.
MVP.
No secret.
Wasn't MVP Phoenix
It
who
was
always ran that?
MVP Phoenix.
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that's
it was
back. If you're
MVP.
talking back in the day.
Yeah,
like
back at
15,
TI, what,
16?
6 or something? Yeah.
TI 5?
Disgusting.
Bloody
Yeah.
hell.
I think it was.
The first two picked Io Bristol every game.
Yep. That was definitely MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sick.
They knocked
Bounty
OG
Hunter.
down to the loser bracket with that. They hit him with the Furion Bounty Darkseer one game, and then they hit him with the Io Bristle one game.
Yeah. I got top 8, I think.
Are you
They were-
alright?
they were
Ted?
top
Did
6
you
'cause
need
they
to
won
be
that
sick
series
or
in the
what?
upper bracket.
You
It's
need to be-
interesting. EHOME are just like they just spot this opening straight away.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was real. They might have even baited the Jug out.
Yeah.
First picking Elder Titan.
Radiant
Tiny.
team.
I don't actually know how good is Juck
Terrible.
against. I mean, against
Poor,
Tiny
man.
and Titan. And the lane sounds not too good.
Good against Tiny.
Like in the lane, you just kind of get beaten down, I think.
Yeah, it depends on whether you can find kills or not. That's my issue with Jug, where it's very kill-dependent laner. You're
Yeah.
never in a point like where you have more damage or an ability to go one-on-one against some strength off laner.
Yeah.
Thus, you never are able to be left alone on an island, and that's my big issue with the hero. It feels like you need to dominate the lane, and even then you're a jug. You're like a tier 4 carry in the meta.
Yeah. You need like an enabler. You need an Empower or a Slaughter or something for you. But he doesn't have either.
Still get it.
I mean, they could, but...
Team pick.
Brew. Oh, alright.
Good ban.
Yeah, very good ban.
I feel like OG's lineup is so... just awkward right now. They don't really have anything.
Bro, dude, they're gonna... First off, double jugs. You're gonna hit him with the double suck. Two links.
Still can't cope with that
Two links of power at one time.
So, is the maximum amount that Razor can steal
10
based on like
seconds
some
remaining.
default maximum, or
'cause
is it he
it's
can only steal this much?
Two distinct buffs. So it would effectively... You cast the same ability twice. It's like hitting a refresher.
Yeah, so 500 something. But the thing is, he won't live through that because he's gonna die to Burning Spears.
Yeah. Well, it's an issue.
It is an issue. How did they kill this Husker is the biggest issue right now.
True.
Laning phase. Razor can't lane against Husker.
Prove it.
Prove what? 1v1 me, innocent.
I miss 1v1 callouts, man. Those are the days.
Innos leaks, man. 1v1
I still get
unvote.
them.
1v1 unvote.
It's usually when my team are actually beating the other player and then I'm giving him crap for it and I'm actually playing a Jakiro 5.
First,
Ruby can last.
real quick. First thing, RIP to Mean Gene. Second, what do you think about WWE style one-on-one walkouts, complete with the full promo with Slacks in costume? Like heavy shit talking.
Wait, you're talking like in an arena?
One-on-one money match.
In an arena where it's like me and you in a commentary box and we're like, let's find out who comes out. It's Nocturne's coming out. Oh my
and we don't know who the hell's coming out. So it could be, it's literally like No Tail and Fly, and they don't even know. And now they're 1v1ing.
I love it. He did wrestlers. Yeah, he did wrestlers. It was fantastic.
Wait, are you saying fighting WWE style?
No, like one-on-one, like matches,
coming
go
out
to
like
1v1, pride on the line.
But coming out like that in an arena.
So you're losing mid and you tag in someone else and they come in and take
Tag in Miracle.
And then they win.
Wow.
Clink to the end. Hello.
Some sauce right there. If anyone can play, it's gonna be Thompson, right?
Now I'm like,
That's a Thompson
let's
Clinks.
find out how to play Clinks.
It's a Thompson Clinks.
They played it before in the qualifiers, and they won.
Really?
They played it once, and they won. But they had a Slaughter too.
I like it.
But there's a big issue with that hero, folks. It's called Heaven's Halberd. And you're going to have at least one on EHOME by like 25 minutes on the Huskar, and probably another on the ET later. They can't win into 2 halberds in this game.
What about
So
Tiny,
they need
though?
to win before 35 minutes.
They need to like dominate this game and keep the Huskar from coming online.
Need some quick predictions from you, so let's go around.
Ted.
If I
EHOME.
see Oracle Huskar, puke and I
You did?
quit.
You did.
EHOME.
EHOME, okay. Black?
Me too.
EHOME. 3 EHOMEs. Black, Pyrian Flax, and Kyle have all gone for EHOME. Ted's slightly unwell, so we're going to get him off to the medical unit after seeing Oracle Huskar picked in the second phase. Hopefully our commentators are up for the match though. Gents, you right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Healthy.
Okay, good.
Healthy.
Both on the EHOME train, I presume?
No.
Oh.
No. I think Cinderin's still tossing around, but I'm pretty much with the OG train.
Swayed by the Clinks?
Very much. I think Clink's going to do a really good job of dealing with both Innocence as well as ASD, so I think they're going to have a harder time in this game. And don't underestimate the Burning Army. The Burning Army is going to be very difficult for EHOME to deal with. Yep. But what do you think, Sin? Are you going to be with the panel? Am I going to be by myself here?
This is really hard because I have a pretty bad read on Clinks right now. It's a weird hero. That's why Thompson plays it and no one else. Like, I don't think anyone plays it. I have to pick.
Why don't we get into the game and let Thompson teach us how to play Clinks?
I'll say EHOME because I have to predict someone, right?
Yes.
So, now you got my prediction.
Okay. I guess I'm a loner on this front then. Yay. Well, it's a good chance for me to catch up after what was... I don't think we could be blamed for the prediction of the last game. Like, that really could
What do you mean we? I was right.
Yeah, okay, well... The rest of the people who are like myself who backed OG cannot be blamed for the prediction in the last game. It could have been won by both teams multiple parts of that game.
Yep, absolutely. I think EHOME were winning really hard, and then they kind of threw it away.
Yeah,
and OG were winning pretty
really
hard, and then they kind of threw it. It went like back and forth. That's the mark of 2 teams that are pretty evenly matched and a really exciting game. So the reason I have a bit of a hard time completely predicting this game is that there's a lot of stuff I haven't really seen too much. It looks like it's a mid Rubik that will be played by ASD against supposedly Clinks. Don't really know how that lane goes. Seb is playing Razor.
Yeah.
We've got...
And then you actually question, like, so is Seb now taking this Razor to the top lane? Where does he head with this one? Do you put the Juggernaut into the off lane? He's got Stout Shield, 4 Ironwood Branches, and 6 Tango, so it looks like Juggernaut's like putting in for the long haul.
Well, the good thing about Razor is that both his side lane matchups are pretty good. The hero's good against Huskar, and it's good against Tiny, so he definitely has some pretty good options in these lanes, but the thing that I still want to go back a bit to the Clinks, because Kyle was talking about Heaven's Halberd, but this new Clinks with the Burning Army is a bit like... It's a bit confusing, because you put down this ultimate and it keeps auto-attacking these fights, and it's kind of hard to grasp in the game how much damage it's really dealing until you look at the post-game screen. You're like, wow, Clinks did 20,000 damage.
It does so much, and like it can sometimes be like really easy to pick off, and that's what I was wondering for EHOME. Like, do you actually get the Huskar to stop and take this out? Because the rest of the EHOME team will not be good at killing off the Burning Army. So
that's a good question. They might
how do you deal with this? Do you turn Rubik into the damage dealer? You get him with his plus 60 damage, and maybe then he can actually help out. But
I think the really important thing that you pointed out is this like Huskar as the centerpiece. I think the goal for OG is to
they're
kill...
They're gonna walk into each other. You'll have a moment as here goes your big jump out already. Grimstroke in a world of hurt. Thompson wants to help out. The damage, however, is just way too much for Grimstroke to survive through. The Elder Titan, these searing arrows from Thompson did some work, but I don't think OG were ready for 5 heroes from EHOME to contest the point. Notal did have the big stun, and EHOME, they're not giving up on it just yet. It's a nice 3-man Stormbolt. But Innocence control through that Fortune's end was really problematic. Forced a very early spin from ILTV.
Yep. Trading 1-for-1 there, OG. They ran into the enemy's high ground and got overwhelmed in numbers. If you get a 1-for-1 in that, it's not really that big of a disaster. That could have gone way worse.
They may still get the runes too, because no one's nearby to contest Seb for the top 2 runes.
Yeah, Seb's getting these ones,
and Juggernaut's heading back down for the bottom runes.
Yeah, they're too
late. Notel actually went all the way back to base just to heal up, so it doesn't matter what he expended, what he lost. No one from EHOME is able to do the same thing. And it will actually be okay.
Got 3 runes.
Yeah.
OG. That's a pretty even trade overall then, because First Blood went to EHOME, but OG got an extra rune. That's pretty much the same. Now, the thing I want to say about this Huskar Oracle thing, it's a classic combo. Everybody's seen it. Like, you ulti the Huskar with Oracle, and he heals a lot during it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, if you're OG, I think your goal in these fights for Clinks is to find and kill the Oracle, because that's how you kill Huskar.
That's what I was wondering, if you have more of the more uncommon build for the Clinks, if you go for something like an Orchid early on, just wrap in around the back and just become the hunter. Thompson is the king of like different styles of builds, right?
That's really bad for the Burning Army though, right?
Yeah, it's terrible for the Burning Army.
Yeah. So you kind of have to choose here what your focus is. My concern is if he goes for a build that only really kills Oracle, but they might still not be able to kill Huskar after that, because their only other... Like, they have Juggernaut, who's pretty good at it, and Razor, who's also okay, but there's not that, like, massive physical damage burst or spell burst hero that's just going to instantly take him out. So... we'll see how it goes. Above all, I'm just curious. I feel like this game is kind of a curveball from both teams in what they've picked.
Oh boy, Destiny does so much damage! Combine it up a little bit with damage from the Huskar. He went Inner Fire as his level 1 ability.
That's not something you see every day.
It is not, but it's to try and push away this Venom, or is that just because of the early fight?
I think he wants to push away the Static Link.
Good point.
It's obviously, this matchup is different than it used to be. It used to be super Razor favored, because you would just Link and then you would just run down the Huskar, but now Huskar actually has a defensive play against you in that Inner Fire. It does, however, cost 75 mana, so over time, both the Huskar and the Razor will actually have mana problems in this lane. It's worth thinking about.
Speaking of problems, I'm keeping my eye on ASD. Like, I feel like this is almost a sacrificial lane. Thompson hits him with a Searing Arrow, yeah, because Fatebolt can hit back and reduce that damage, but at the same time, the amount of consumables that have been burnt through from Rubik. He's got the Courier bringing out another salve for him. Bottom lane. Issues right now for Innocence. Cannot get away from the spin of ILTV, but that's why you've got the Avalanche. 3 heavy stuns. They will be able to survive. Jirax was there in support. This mid lane just feels really good for Thompson if he can just keep the harassment up. And again,
I wonder what EHOME saw in this Rubik pick. Like, it was their 5th pick of the draft. They saw every OG hero except the Clinks. There's no, like, very clear, amazing spell steal here. Like, Juggernaut is pretty good against. He has good spells. He has both Blade Fury and Healing Ward, so I totally see that. Are you planning to steal Soulbind? Are you planning to steal, like, Sven's spells are also, I guess, pretty good?
Yeah.
Getting Warcry is actually going to be super good this game against the Clinks Burning Army, but at the time they don't know there's a Clinks coming. Maybe it's just a comfort pick. The reason I'm thinking about it is that they had the Tiny, which ASD did excellently on last game. They already had that in their
with the
draft.
strafe of Thompson, is that enough damage? No, it's not. 37 HP, but he just burnt the salve while on bottom lane. Innocence able to get the kill onto Jirax, getting a little aggressive, trying to contest any kind of pull. But Rubik has already had to TP all the way back to base and now walk in towards the mid. This is dangerous just because it's Thompson. Like, it doesn't even matter like what hero he's on. It's just the fact you're giving Thompson early farm, early power.
He's winning this lane super hard.
Yeah.
It's almost 1,000 net worth ahead minute 4.
The side lanes also weren't looking that great, but look at top lane with 8-2 versus the 13-16 of Seb. ILTV is doing a good job at the bottom lane too, but they start off with a little of a Storm Bolt, just Notel creating space, try and isolate this ET. And again, Thompson just pushing Rubik out of the lane. Like, he's just burned his salve and Tango's, all consumables gone. Then bottom lane Innocence. ILTV will stay with it. Jirax gives him the stun. They get a spin just in case any kind of problems. Extra damage and Innocence goes down once more.
And these lanes for OG this time around are going much better than the last game. Last game they were more outpicked, I would say, in the laning stage, and they've solved that pretty well in this game, especially in mid lane, obviously. But the Huskar and Tiny are still doing fine. The concern for EHOME is simply that I feel like mid Rubik as a hero, it's pretty weak if you're losing this hard. Like, he doesn't have much to fall back on.
Nice setup on the top. It didn't actually break the static link, so Seb's going to get a lot of damage stolen. They can turn this around into the Elder Titan. Yeah, they've got to go through the 5 armor of him, but it may still be enough. No, it won't. Heavy damage in Huskar. Well, even if he doesn't have the physical damage, he's still got the burning spears that will tick through. And this is around the 5-minute mark, so it's all about the contest for the runes, and it will be another 3 runes to OG.
Yep. Jerax playing very aggressive in this bottom area, just really trying to bully away the Oracle all the time. Tiny has also been forced out of lane now by the Juggernaut, so OG effectively with flat out 2 lane wins. They're definitely winning bottom and mid, and top is more or less a draw. I guess it's a slight win for EHOME if you really look closely for it, but it's by so little that it's almost inconsequential. The biggest win is definitely this mid lane that Rubik.
I'm wondering also when Thompson decides to move off mid. Like when does he decide to get involved in the other lanes?
I'm not too... I haven't even played the new Clinks. Like, it's a very different hero from the old Clinks with this Burning Army, so like your feeling of timings and when you rotate and how you play, that's another thing. Like, I wonder if EHOME know. Like, this is not a common hero, so...
Fantastic in Bizrune, just lets Jirax easily set up for the kill. He actually takes it as well from Thompson, but it's just more space creation. While top lane, Ego, Static Link is out. The Stormbolt's already done the work. The push back once again, not severing the Static Link. So Ego, the physical damage from Seb. One more attack is not enough. He actually verifies up, has the life, but not enough. Then actually Seb continues to chase for the 4th time for ASD to get his own rotation in. So it ends up being a 1-core for 1-core trade on top.
What was that attack range from Seb?
I don't know.
That looked like 800 range from that Razor Whip. Wow, okay. Well, trade-off, like you said, they do TP Rubik top, however, so he can't really come back to mid now. Who is going to go mid? Who will you put here? That might have been a big part of the reason OG picked this Clinks hero. They obviously, Thompson has been playing this hero a lot, and Thompson knows the matchups pretty well, so he probably feels like all matchups are good here.
TP's coming back from ET. He wants to move towards the mid lane to get involved in the fight, but while the silence is on the Huskar, finally will break free. Seb, 112 damage stolen. He's chasing Ego into the camp. Where's that attack range? With the Plasma Field, he's got the vision and the kill. ASD's thinking about rotating back over, but it's currently Destiny, who's chasing down Jirex. One more punch will do it. Jirex just doesn't have the movement speed, so they use the Spirit instead. Seb, the damage bonus is going to wear off. He begins the stomp from ET, and this will allow Oracle as well as ASD to move over. What do you end up stealing? It's the plasma field damage. Both go out from either side, and then they use Innocent's burst damage to find the kill. This still feels like such a heavy commitment from EHOME in order to gain any of these kills in the lane.
Yeah, they need to bring more heroes, simply.
And then back onto bottom lane. The spin came out, Tiny started with the avalanche. He'll end up tossing back to Juggernaut, who had the Omnislash. He was looking for the kill. Now spin from ASD. I don't think he's got a choice. He has to go in to the Omnislash, but he just can't get it off in time.
Nice turnaround here from EHOME. ILTV was expecting to be able to get off the Omnislash, but quick toss and then the TP. Great communication there to bring Rubik down and get this counter kill. Definitely weren't expecting that OG.
They're going to get an Invis rune onto Husker. City wants to deal with it. Thompson's looking for the rune, and they'll notice it's been taken. I mean, you can see the movement come into the mid lane as Husker leaves, though. So both ET and Oracle looking to protect ASD's mid.
Oh, Thompson. Oh, they missed. They missed the stomp.
Oh boy. Oh boy. He turned the strafe on as well. Like, how much can you really dodge with that? He'll put it to the test in this game.
It's good against Huskar. That's probably a big part of the reason he loves this hero against the Huskar. He can dodge the life break. He can dodge all of Huskar's attacks. The only thing he can't dodge is the inner fire. But yeah, I was thinking, like, when you look at Clinks in this game, who really wants to lane against him? Rubik doesn't like this lane. Tiny definitely doesn't like this lane, and Huskar also doesn't, so...
Seb's in a little bit of trouble. Support's coming in from Jirex. I don't know how much he can really help out. He silences over on the Oracle. And Seb, at least stealing the damage, makes it difficult for ET to pump him down. That's now 4 heroes from EHOME on the top lane. Juggernaut is soloing up the bottom. No TP supports coming in. Thompson's adding pressure towards mid, so Innocence will TP down to defend this.
And look at the gold. This is pretty interesting, right? We were talking about how much Clinks is win. Oh, Notel's actually.
Yeah, he just walked up to the Radiant Observer Ward. He is surrounded by 4 heroes, and this is Notel dead.
We were talking about how much Clinks is winning mid by, but when you compare it, the support is actually winning by a lot. Notel has 500 net worth. He's 1,000 gold behind the Oracle. That's the same amount of gold that Clinks is ahead of the Rubik. So at this point, the gold is actually evening out, and
straight Omnislash, and he'll have to go into Spin if he wants the extra damage. Innocent's actually helping tank it up, so Spin actually on cooldown, he could not use it. And ILTV, he just gave away Omnislash. Let it go, he'll find the kill quite simply. Omnislash through, the Spin does not protect. And Juggernaut, for all that farm, helping the Rubik get back into this game. Jirex may be in a world of hurt, in fact he is. Burning Spears from Ego find the kill, and now, well, let the hemorrhage begin.
Yeah, EHOME are finding a lot of picks right now. The Sven first, now this Juggernaut tries to go for the rotation.
Thompson comes underneath the sentry ward. He'll pop off the burning army, but now there's so much of it. Faithian wants to run through it. They pop off the war cry, and Thompson can tank them a lot, including the tree, down to 27 HP. This burning army is still attacking into Innocence, making Notel think about moving forward.
So ASD stole the burning army. I think he was hoping to steal Strafe, and then he would have been totally fine there. Obviously counters everything Clinks does too. It's kind of a weird matchup, this one. I've never seen it played before.
Burning versus burning, but burning army from a Rubik is just nothing.
Yeah, well, I guess he gets a damage talent.
Yeah.
You know? But... So, EHOME are actually equalizing this game now, and I think the main problem for OG right now has been the 2 last Jugger deaths. His death bottom when he tried to go for the tiny kill, and now his death mid when he tried to go for the... Who was it he tried to kill again? Was it the Elder Titan, I think? When he got saved by Oracle? I believe so.
I'll say yes.
These 2 moments were pretty important to EHOME's position in this game. Oh, good reaction.
He got the spin. Spin will again be stolen. By the way, I just looked at the tool tap because I was a little bit distracted. It's the base damage, and it's just that. So I don't think he even gets the
oh, he doesn't even get the talent bonus
for that? It won't be from the talent bonus. It's the base damage plus searing arrows.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, so then it doesn't even matter Rubik has damage now. Correct. I don't think he's going to be aiming to steal it anyway. It's not particularly useful compared to some other steals.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit more about Notel in this game, because I feel like Sven is one of these position 5s that it's fine not being super rich. That's why the hero can be played as a 5, but you can't really be this poor. He has to farm a little bit, which is what he's doing now, because you need to at least have boots and some sort of item, like a bracer or two, you know, so you can actually frontline and do something for your team. Right now, this hero is a liability. Didn't really do too well in lane. It's very far behind on net worth of the enemy supports, so they need to make sure that even if Klinx is having a great game, you need the whole team to be able to contribute. A poor Sven is almost literally just a war cry. But he has to be able to get in.
Yeah.
Now he got boots, minute 12, and that's the first quote-unquote big item that he needs this game.
As long as he gets a level 4 war cry and gives it to the Klinx and makes him unkillable, that's all he needs to do for the early game,
It's
right?
absolutely the majority of what he needs to do, but it's hard to do without boots. Like, that's why we haven't seen No-Tail much. It's been very immobile. Hasn't had too many options on making moves yet.
EHOME are moving multiple heroes to the top lane trying to look for Thompson. Problem is he's just so elusive. Uses Strafe to push out the wave and then can just go inside the skeleton walk and just back off the lane. You almost need to carry Dust on the Huskar for when he jumps, but you got it on the ET instead.
Yeah, but even the Huskar jumping the Klinx isn't going to slow him if he casts Strafe in time, so he can still probably just walk away. It's a bit of a tricky matchup. It's going to be really interesting to see how Thompson plays around this. He has a lot of weight on his shoulders, I think, right now. Not because OG are far behind or anything, but the Klinx needs to deliver in this game. So the last pick, he won his lane, and he's high level.
They're going to try and fight up on top lane. The smoke on No-Tail and Jirax. Extra TP support probably wouldn't go amiss. And in fact, here it comes. Coming in from Razor. Thompson visible thanks to the Sentry Ward that was down, but then the double stun. And they'll combine them together with the Soulbind. Innocence, there's just nothing more he can do. Faith Beyond comes in with the Avalanche trying to create space. But thanks to the Warcry, they have the life to dive underneath the T1 tower. ASD is going to arrive. He's got spin available. He's going after Seb, who will try and tank through this. The Hood of Defiance gives him some really good regeneration. Not to mention the healing ward that's up, and EHOME just can't find anything. Thompson, the Searing Arrow is not enough to kill off Destiny, but they just toss him back underneath the tier 2 tower. EHOME are in full retreat. Save your man with a 3-man stopping at work. Jirax into the tree lines. He gets the ink to hit, but then gets painted back himself by ASD. Okay, well that's not a bad thing to steal. The straight for ASD. He's doing so much damage with his plus 60. OG, have you gone too deep again? What is going on? There's blood on both sides of the field, and they did not want to cut each other.
That one moment was probably my favorite moment of this tournament so far, what we just saw. This toss play, he tosses the Elder Titan out, barely saving him. Then Elder Titan walks into the tree line, gets a triple Echo Stomp from the fog, and they overwhelm OG with this. You look at the situation, even if you look at it in a replay and you watch it in half speed, you probably feel like OG are doing something good. Like, this is really, really difficult to do. This is very beautiful play out of EHOME. That was so nicely done. And yep, like you said, OG, they end up overextending, but that was not like one of those, you know, idiot moments where you're like, what are you doing?
Come back to real time. No-Tail in towards the mid. Oh, they need a little bit more life. The Avalanche making it difficult. Even Bird Godstrike to get through the creep wave. Seb really wanted to fight. Jirax was nearby. What have you got again? This time it's the Ink Swell. ET Stomp. It only puts the Rage to sleep. No-Tail still beating into the tower. And they got Thompson clipped by the Avalanche. And already the Sven goes down, picking up Seb, throwing him down. Omni Slash in the backline. ASD. He is solo slashed up by ILTV. The mid-tier 1 tower will also go down. It went to the catapult with the Burning Army cutting the back line. EHOME were they didn't have enough to fight, and they also didn't have enough people. Yep. Let's have a look at this top fight again.
This moment is really good. So keep an eye on this tiny Elder Titan combination. It's not happening just yet, but you see the whole lead into this. They realize, oh, we can't kill Seb.
But this is it.
Yeah, so here we go. So barely uses the stick first, so he survives the Searing Arrow. Now he's going to get tossed away by Faith Beyond onto ASD, who then runs him a little bit back. Now he walks into the tree line. It's like a good buddy-buddy program. Now he in return saves Faith Beyond with his triple stomp, and they turn around. This was really, really nicely done. And now trade off with Strokes of Faith, killing each other, strafe steal from ASD to this whole sequence was really cool to watch. That was very nicely done by both, really by both teams. The lead-in from OG was good too.
Yeah,
they just got outplayed in that moment.
They had to have felt too like this is not one of those moments where okay, maybe it wasn't on them. It was a forced error, not an unforced error like we saw
that's a good way of
in the first game one.
Exactly. Okay, so OG put some pressure. They got this mid-tier 1 tower and took a pretty good fight. Huskar never showed up for it, like you mentioned. They didn't have the numbers. And now EHOME are going to take some initiative themselves.
Field. That's a lot of damage already into Ego. Oh, what? Oops.
Oh, he didn't work ulti.
And now up to the hill. This is maybe a bigger ult with a 3-man hit. Thompson not ready to fight with the Burning Army just yet, but they've got the lockdown on Faith Beyond. The save has to be used. Elder Titan, he's waiting. He's got the splitter in 2 seconds. The Spirit is out. The Stomp will be able to connect. Tiny will fall, however. The silence were there from Jirak. Elder Titan begins his own TP on. He'll be successful in the tree lines. TP over. It's Faith Beyond coming in with the Avalanche combination against Thompson. The Clinks was hunting for more kills. Now it's OG with 3 heroes dead. Juggernaut and Grimstroke are in no position to contest Roshan. And that's such a long death timer for OG's Clinks. I'm wondering if this is just a simple, easy Roshan now for EHOME.
I love that you were just talking about unforced error and forced error, and now moments after OG just run into the enemy high ground 5-on-4 and
yeah,
kind of forced the issue.
No vision.
They forced the issue. That fight looked like it was going to be okay, but the buyback from Tiny, you have to remember, you're fighting in the enemy shrine. They have the connection point and you don't. They buy back the Tiny, come in and kind of force themselves into this awkward position, and I thought maybe this would indeed lead to a Roshan, but
EHOME didn't take it.
EHOME feel like they don't have enough time to get into the pit and grab it for Huskar this time.
Faith Beyond's going to go on bottom lane, chasing after Jirax. Just when you look for the secondary hit, but it's a level 1 toss that he never got off thanks to the silence.
Yeah. I think Jirax dies there if he doesn't get that silence off, or at least it's close.
Thompson's checking the pit. He knows he's also not strong to take Roshan yet, even with the medallion now on him. He's looking for a good target to go on.
He has to be so wary of where Tiny is. I think the reason he's confident in running up here is that Tiny showed bottom. If he gets caught on a sentry by Tiny, he's almost instantly dead. Obviously, Clinks nowadays doesn't have all that extra health from Death Pact. You don't have that spell anymore.
Beyond comes in, gets the Avalanche tossing back over on Sven, but then he gets the double Stormbolt stun, not to mention the silence on Tiny. Doesn't really have a lot of mana to fight with. It's spin-on-spin action. Thompson versus the Rubik. Up he goes. Thompson will still end up going down into the Omni Flash. They're being kept alive, but now bounced down. Was that enough from the false promise? It's now ILTV trying to back out. The Huskar will survive, leaping himself forward. Jirax, he cannot repel that kind of firepower, literally from the heart of Huskar. OG, 5 heroes down. Now Roshan is doable.
Yeah, they're definitely grabbing that here. And I think, again, the key thing, you really got to keep your eyes on Faith Beyond. He's doing so much work on his Tiny this game. OG felt relatively comfortable because Tiny was bottom just a moment ago, but he TPs in, gets this Avatar. This looks like it's not too good because of the double Stormhammer, but look at that beautiful Earth Splitter going down the middle, catching them both. In the meantime, Rubik versus Clinks is being won by Rubik. And the moment that Clinks dies, this fight is pretty much just over.
Yeah. That moment when you actually, like, you've seen the Clinks versus Rubik matchup, it's like, okay, well, this is going really well for Clinks, and Rubik is still strong enough.
Well, now he's overtaken Clinks in net worth. Thompson has really fallen off. He was in a great position, but I feel like Clinks... I don't know the hero well enough to truly judge this, but it feels like a super snowbally hero. Like, in the past, you would get Death Pact and you would be strong yourself and you'd be a hard kill. If you get caught out of position with this guy in a fight, you die so fast. He has 1200 health, no magic resistance to speak of, so this Tiny can almost one-shot him. He just needs a little bit of help.
They just need to get the Burning Army off in the middle of the fight, and then the Burning Army almost does most of the work. But I look to the other hero who is actually #1 in net worth, the one who's carrying the double damage rune on bottom, the Juggernaut who went for the early Battle Fury. So he's the one that's going to escalate really quickly, and I beg the question, can EHOME actually finish this game if it gets dragged out longer?
That's true. They don't have the best late game in their lineup.
And there's physical damage answers to the Huskar, so they can't just force the high ground. The Rubik has been something in this game, but can he be enough? Especially if he's going up against a Razor Juggernaut as well as Clinks. ILTV, spin, he does not have TP. It's on cooldown for another 15 seconds, so 4 heroes looking for him in the tree lines, and he will be dropped.
He has to be really careful with these moves. The Jugger deaths are the biggest ones on the map right now. He's top net worth.
Yeah.
And beforehand, we said how much Thompson had to carry this game with the Clinks for the start he had. That didn't work out, so now it's time for plan B, which is the true carry of the game in the Juggernaut. But these deaths slow him down a lot. He's the fastest farmer on the map, so...
And up towards the mid. Jump up. Sven being picked up and thrown around. He doesn't have the Stormbolt yet because of the silence that was stolen. Could not get it off.
That's a pretty good spell steal. Phantom's Embrace is nice. Although Clinks can dodge it with Strafe, I believe.
You would hope, yeah.
It's just a useful spell all around. It's just a great spell. So... Not a bad one to grab here for ASD. They're trying to find Jirax. Okay, how far do you want to go? Oh, he wants a different spell.
It's to get the vision, then go Phantom's Embrace.
No, he swapped it out, right? He had that.
He's got stroke.
He got stroke, yeah. And
My icon updated, but the tooltip did not.
that means he can automatically clear creep waves by using both his nukes right now. So
well, this is the moment. The Aegis Immortal on a Huskar, exactly what EHOME needed to try and force the high ground. There was many conversations about, hey, what if you can drag the game out? But this is exactly what EHOME needs. No fortification available for the dire side. So Ego just stands the high ground, he takes a tier 3, but look at this wraparound. Thompson, he does not have the burning army. Notel, he's going to get a storm bolt, but only on the Rubik, and how quickly does Fade Beyond just blink over, get the avalanche toss combination. Thompson couldn't even get damage, he got stopped in the back lines. They know where he is, they're starting up the splitter. Thompson's going to just shatter from this. In fact, he doesn't even live long enough for it. And Seb with the soul of 38, wow, damage. He's going to do almost absolutely nothing. But OG trying to push forward. At least Seb, as far away as EHOME he can get them from the base, he will do it. They're tossing, they're chasing, and they will be able to find this kill. Aegis is still intact for the Huskar for a little bit longer. And that mid-racks, they're coming back for it.
Yep, they forced a lot there. That's Thompson's buyback. They only had to expend their own Oracle buyback, and I think Huskar still has the Aegis, right?
I don't think they're going to defend the racks. Thompson's already moving down towards bottom lane to push it out.
Yeah.
If he's not there, there is no defense. He's using the illusion rune to grab the creep wave. So as long as there's no radiant creep there, you'll be fine. But with a jump in onto Jirax from Faith Beyond, they keep that one melee creep up.
Jirax a bit too busy spamming Greevil after, and then he gets jumped and killed by Tiny.
How long until this backdoor?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen in time.
It does not. That one melee creep that stayed alive was enough. Now the backdoor will kick in, but only for the range racks.
How long do they have left in the Aegis? They have a minute, so I don't think they're going to be able to use this for attempting a second lane. Maybe they'll get the top tier 2 tower.
But you got what you wanted, right? Like you still claimed a lane of racks with the first Roshan.
Yeah, you're definitely happy with that. You got yourself a good lead out of this. You have the... That was, by the way, a great, very well-timed ulti from the Oracle of Innocence in that fight onto the Huskar. The Rubik with the Yule's itemization against the Omni Slash as well as the Clinks. Their items, I think EHOME are really good at buying items across these two games. Last game I talked about the E-Blade and all the Ghost Scepters. This game, this Yule's has been excellent. Looks like the Tiny is going for a Manta style. Not sure how much I like that one. We'll see. But apart from that, they've been buying, honestly, just all the right things when you look across. They have good ideas of how they want to play the fights. And they've been very well set up with sentries. That's obviously Klinks' biggest problem, right? He tries to come in, but they're always ready. When they're the ones pushing, they can cover the angles with these sentry wards, and you haven't seen the Sven and the Klinks very much in this game.
It just feels so funny watching the Rubik running around with the Yules and an Aghanim Scepter with phase boots. Like, there's no maneuverability in the Blink Dagger. It's just straight up, I'm just going to steal the biggest thing I possibly can.
Yeah. He took the minus damage on Fate Bolt talent as well, by the way. We don't see this talent taken as much as the other one, I think.
I suppose if Thompson gets hit by the Fade Bolt beforehand, that's going to affect the Burning Army.
That's minus damage, so it's also not base damage, right?
It's also not, yeah.
If it doesn't work for plus, it shouldn't work for minus, right? I think, but you never know. It's minus 80 damage. It's really big if he gets it on the Juggernaut, for example.
They're looking for the jump. ASD hangs around a little bit longer. Thompson just lets the Burning Army go. Someone got a stun with the spin. They cannot penetrate the immunity. And that's Burning Army going down for a while. Maybe a better target down towards the Oracle. Omni Slash is available, but again, the Avalanche from Faith Beyond.
They need to be careful here. They don't get turned on. Faith Beyond has an Arcane Rune. His spells have really short cooldowns right now. And OG are going to back off.
They are not getting what they want. They are not finding the fights they want.
They really aren't. At least they outlasted the Aegis, right? So that's the one good thing for OG here. If they're able to
Faith Beyond underneath his own Observer and Sentry. Thompson! 40 HP! The Warcry from Notel keeps him alive. They'll now get rid of the vision that OG had. It was only an Observer Ward. That's why they didn't know that EHOME saw them so clearly. And EHOME will make the most of it. Push the tier 1 and the tier 2 tower. That is some very scribbly drawings on the minimap done by EHOME.
Something I feel like is a problem in this game is how Klink's Burning Army just can't focus fire. Like, he does this spread damage, but it's not killing the Huskar the same way as you would with the old Klinks with just straight Death Pact, right? Like, you would just lay into this one guy. They're struggling to find the key kills to open the fight. They can't really kill the Tiny, they can't really kill the Huskar. Like, even the Rubik is proving to be a problem for them to bring down when he has this Blade Fury stolen. So.
Jump in from Faith Beyond, at least there's a Soulbind double silence, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to save Jirax. Notel comes in for the Storm Bolt too. I'll be chained across the both, but at the same time, Rubik, Mr. Blink Dagger now up. He's got that maneuverability, but Juggernaut, he actually looked towards the top lane. ILTV is trying to do a counter push against EHOME. Yeah, he is nowhere near fast enough for this, but without Grimstroke, without that soul-bind combination of abilities, do you even have enough to stop this push coming in?
Just kill him instead, right?
Yeah, that'll work. But then is there a fight to be had back at base? Juggernaut's going to play in, and he's TPing straight towards the front lines. They want this kill. They're going to look towards Husker. A push back, but the Omni Slash up. Damn, he tanks through so much. It's a false promise of innocence. He got it off once again. A quick jump forward. They'll move back out. Oracle's already down. Husker, how much life have you got? More than enough to survive. And the stomp, it'll catch two. Thompson needs to change his target over towards the Husker and kill him off. But again, they push him back, and ASD's in, and the avalanche. How many times must this never-ending stun continue? Even a spin from ASD. He'll jump in the middle of the fight, killing off No Tail. You've already lost your Clink. You don't have your damage. You've lost everybody. Buy back all you want. I don't think it's going to be enough as Faith Beyond keeps the fight going underneath their own Observer Ward. This is OG falling apart at the seams. GG.
Yep.
It's 2-0 in favor of EHOME. The Clinks was not the savior he could have been, but EHOME, such a great lineup. The Aegis, they push up high ground, and they never stop from that point.
I feel like there's two heroes. So we've seen in both of these games, EHOME have had these Tiny and Elder Titan. They're playing